This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up, everybody?
What up?
How's everyone doing out there? This is Dave with Grapplers Talk. This is episode number 7.
7.
Yeah, man. We're going strong, dude. I got a lot of good feedback from last week's episode with Rich. And, man, Rich is an awesome guy. That was such a great interview. And
Yeah.
getting to check out his facility and see how he's expanded it was just fantastic to
Yeah.
see and be a part of.
I had a lot of people say, man, I didn't realize he was such a nice guy. I'm like, yeah, dude.
He's like the nicest guy.
He is. He
Yeah.
is. He's got the all business look, but he's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, this week we have a very special guest, and this person and I have been kind of talking recently and getting to know each other a little bit, and that's why I wanted to have him on the show, just so he could get his history out there, kind of let you know what he's doing, because he's got some big things going on in the jiu-jitsu community. He's nothing but love, giving everyone love in the community. So anyways, other than that, I'm going to introduce our guest for episode 7, Rob. How you doing, brother?
You say special guest. I'm asking special how, you know. How do you already know me, you know?
Interpret that however you want.
But thank you for being a part of this and traveling out to us and being a part of this episode, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. And I just kind of want to get into it and kind of hear your history, hear your background on how you got into jiu-jitsu, who got you into it, and kind of just tell your story a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm a typical 80s baby, right? Karate kid. Grew up fairly poor. I mean, I'm not going to tell you a sob story, but movies and stuff were kind of like my, I guess, my window to reality, quote, reality.
Yeah.
And so things like the Karate Kid and stuff, seeing like a poor, skinny little nerd kid that's kind of getting beat up, and that was kind of inspiring as a young kid, and never really had a chance to train until later on. I got a little older. When I was 10, my mom died, and they sent me to live with my aunt in Utah, and she was trying to like, how do I keep this kid busy, and asking me, what do you like to do? I'm like, shit, I don't. ride skateboards, run around, throw rocks at people, any 10-year-old. And then I said, I've always really wanted to train in karate. And there was a Kempo place in town. And so I trained there for a while. And I was a shithead, man. I mean, it just, growing up in a shitty situation and then kind of coming into a structured situation and not knowing how to deal with it. I have 4 brothers. And I was away from my brothers for about 3 years. And so they got sick of me, sent me back to California, and running around doing shithead stuff as a teenager. And then fast forward to, having my daughter, and wanted to put her in martial arts. Obviously, she's, female, wanted to be able to protect herself, handle herself.
Absolutely.
And put her into Taekwondo at first. And she did that for, I don't know, about a year and a half. And so I started doing Taekwondo with her in the adult class. And then we got in an ATV accident. She broke her wrist, so she couldn't really do striking. And there was a small gym in Tracy that was ran by a dude that had some experience from AKA in San Jose.
Okay.
And he offered a real cheap jiu-jitsu, like $60 a month, no contract. And I was like, let's take her over there. The only other option was like $250 a month in a year contract in town. So you're not going to sign a freaking 10-year-old up for that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean $250.
Things change a lot at those ages.
Sure.
Know? Interests
Sure.
change.
Yeah.
I mean, after a year too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
$60 a month, no contract. Took her in there. She wasn't too sure about it at first, but I was like, this is like watching the kids' class. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, you're loving it.
Yeah. So I kind of helped out at the gym. I wasn't training or anything, and helped them hang like speed bags and whatever. And she kept training, and then Chris and JR started coming in on the weekends, and my wife told me, hey, they got a couple. Chris was a brown belt at the time, and JR was a black belt. And she's like, they got a new black and brown belt there, and you should come. I think you'll like them. You should come check them out. And so I went in and watched the class. I was like, I want to train with these guys.
Yeah.
So I hit Chris up after class, and I was like, hey, dude, I've got a herniated disc in my back. Like, I've always wanted to train. You know, what do you think? He's like, oh, no, it's good. Just train with my brother, Brandon. He won't hurt you. And I was like, all right, cool. You know? And Brandon at the time was like, 140 pounds soaking wet as a blue belt, and was totally cool. Didn't mess me up or anything. And I really enjoyed it. Bought a gi. And then, like, the second class, at the end of the class, they're like, oh, we're not teaching here anymore. We're just letting you know, like, the whole class at the end bowing out. And I was like, what the fuck? I just bought a gi. Like,
that sucks.
I was having, like, 2 classes. I was having fun, And so my wife was running a cardio kickboxing and doing personal training at that gym. And so a few months later, fast forward, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, I found out that Chris and Jar were opening their own academy. And so I hit him up. I was like, hey, we want to train with you. Like, we like you guys. And we met up with them. And, 2018 when I helped them, get their spot ready. And
that's tight.
Yeah. So
that's pretty awesome,
cool.
man. And, everyone, it seems like it's just relationships that you build along the way, and we talked about that with Rich a lot. And, that's what the community is. You got to make those connections, and you got to find where your home is too. As a jiu-jitsu person, you got to just find where you're comfortable training. And
you got to catch the vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just about who's the best instructor. You guys were even talking about that. It's not just about being who's got the best training in town. You got it's got to be good instruction, legit instruction, but you also have to catch the vibe because you're training with these people day and I mean, you guys know.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
you guys have put your mat time in.
Hours
So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so training and they opened their gym in Manteca, correct? Is that kind of where it was?
So actually, JR and Chris and Brandon, their whole crew, they used to train with Torres.
Okay.
So JR's a black belt in Taekwondo, like a 5th or 6th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and then they used to come up to Stockton and train before Torres even had a jiu-jitsu program, from what I understand, right? I wasn't around.
He was
then.
a Taekwondo instructor for many, many years and had a lot of kids that came up in the Taekwondo scene.
Right.
So
right.
it was real big for that period.
Yeah. So they used to come up to Stockton and train, and then they actually built like a little casita in their backyard, and they would train there.
I saw that. I remember when they did that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then
it looked pretty dang sturdy too.
Yeah, it was I saw it when they were demoing it. They demoed it a couple years ago, I think, and I was like, shit, this place is overbuilt, man. Like, I don't think a hurricane could take this thing down.
That's good.
That's JR though, man. I mean, he's just 100%. He's got his heart in everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardona family, like, if you spend any time with them, you already know, like, it gets me. It gets me. Like we're close with them. So
they become family, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it goes.
I trained with Chris a long time ago in Manteca for a little while.
Yeah.
He was a purple belt. We were training with Darren Cooley.
Yeah.
And man, he was always solid rolls, always super tough, and always super super nice. Man.
Sure.
Eager to show you whatever you needed to learn.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Chris is a great guy.
Modern day warrior, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their family. They're just like Kalani. I mean, you find
It's
these
in their
family.
blood, huh?
It's just how it's ingrained in them.
Yeah.
Super nice, super humble, but they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
If they need to. It's that warrior. Like I say, that modern day warrior.
100%. Yeah. And finding a home and having your family in there and. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that you've experienced, like injuries along the way you've struggled with. Everyone's been injured if you've trained jiu-jitsu, right?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm injured now. So, like I said, when I first started jiu-jitsu, I already had it wasn't herniated at the time. It was just a bulging disc. And let's see, April last year. So the academy started like a 5 weeks beginners program, and then at the end of the 5 weeks, they have them come into regular class.
Yeah.
And we kind of welcome them in and show them like actual rolling, because they don't do any kind of rolling, right?
Right.
And so I was there, and they looked to the upper belts like, hey, work with the newer people, right?
Right.
And so I went with this one dude, and I was just like, went down and just, hey, passed my guard, and lightly threw up a triangle on him, and my back just. Like I got shot, right?
Oh.
So that was April last year, so about a year ago.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd already had an MRI. I knew that my disc was herniated at that time or before that, and I hit my doctor up. I was like, "Hey, something's new. We need to get we need to do another MRI." And you know how that goes. It just gets drug out. And so finally they do an MRI, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you have 2 herniated discs now." And I'm like, "Okay,
Thanks.
that's what I figured." And I bet it was really screwed
Yeah.
up, you know, a month and a half ago when I actually needed the MRI.
Yeah.
So I kind of took a little bit of a break, was up working on the cabin and the property and stuff. And then July felt strong enough. I lost a lot of, so before I turned 40, I'm going to be 42 this year.
Okay.
I decided when I turned 40, I got to get back on it and really
Yeah.
get back into shape. You know,
Yeah.
COVID took like almost a year off with jiu-jitsu and
Yeah.
gained a bunch of weight. And so last year in March, I was at 258. And so by July, I was down probably, I don't know, 30 pounds.
Nice.
And so I felt stronger and, you know, a little bit more mobile. And I was like, all right, I'm getting back to it. I'm going to get after it. And then, let's see, World League, I did, so I signed up for Grappling Industries Fresno, and the dude fucking flaked. Drove all the way out there. It was
That's
way,
the worst,
It was
isn't
way
it?
up in Bass
Fresno,
Lake,
that's-
dude, like
yeah.
3 hours, dude.
Yeah,
And this
it's
whole team
horrible.
was there, and they didn't even like go up and
He's
tell
the
him.
only one that
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Of course.
He,
right?
he got. I was like, he got scared. He knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so then I was like, fuck it. I signed up for World League last minute that November.
Yeah.
And went to World League, did that, and then like 2 weeks after World League, same thing. I'm rolling with my boy Chewy, and we're going pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, not anything crazy, but we're rolling. And shot a triangle on him, and it was absolutely the worst pain that I've ever had in my back out of all the flare-ups and issues that I've had.
So both times it was from triangles,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. So
Huh.
I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even walk out of the gym.
Yeah.
So again, hit my doctor up. Hey, you know, I need an MRI. This is new. And finally, and I had signed up for the January World League. Right. I had a goal. I wanted to do like 3 World Leagues this year.
Yeah.
And because at my age, or I don't know your guys' age, but at my age, like it doesn't take much to be kind of. It's just for fun, right? To like
Yeah.
be high in the standings in
Yeah.
World League, right? Depending
Right.
on how you do with the points and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was like a goal for me to have some fun and stay.
But it
on
helps
track.
give you
Yeah.
something to look forward
Right,
to and stuff.
right.
you know?
Well,
Yeah.
competing in general, but like that's like a little extra. You'd be like,
Yeah.
look, I'm in the top 15
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
It feels
Like,
good.
I get it.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. I've looked at my ranking on there too, and just
Yeah.
been like, where am I at? But I'm not active
I mean,
enough to be anywhere
yeah.
on there.
I mean, you know, like in your 40s, you know, you're not
Yeah.
a 20-year-old in
Right.
IBJJF going to every open or whatever.
Right.
So
Right.
basically, they finally gave me my MRI, like the Wednesday before World League in January.
Yeah.
No, they gave me the MRI Monday. I got my results Wednesday, and they're like, "Yeah, your disc went from herniated to now it's extruded, and the other one's right behind it. And extruded is basically like the fibrous center of your disc has now like blown the dam out and is leaking into your spinal
Oh,
cavity.
wow.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And then
What's the solution? Do they have one?
we'll
for
see.
you?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's their view on jujitsu for you? Like,
I don't even tell them.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell them because they're gonna say don't go on the mats, and I'm gonna tell them to fuck off.
You know, all those doctors say that. Like, it pisses me off
Hey.
because my shoulder, doctor told me you'll never train jujitsu again.
Dude, I feel like doctors have a
Like-
thing against jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I saw a post, and it's true, right?
Very
Said
true.
something about cauliflower here. Don't go there because
They
all they're
cut
going to
you
do
up,
is cut
dude.
you open.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no shit, that's what I did. I went there when I had it inside my ear, and all they did was slice it. Dude, it was worst pain ever. I should have
Yeah.
just dealt with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I agree, dude. Doctors got it out for
Yeah,
us.
dude.
They don't know what the fuck.
they're
I mean,
haters. Yeah, unless they
do,
train.
But I mean, they're
So what's tight is there's a
They're
doctor at our
bookworms.
gym.
Yeah.
There's a doctor that trains at our gym.
not
It's
hating on
Andrew.
doctors. But
And
Yeah.
it's
They are.
tight because
I'm hating.
it's tight because he's here, you know, but he's leaving in a couple months. He's only here on like a work,
Yeah.
you know, how they have to do so much time other hospitals. And he's going out to Stanford, dude. He's hella smart.
Oh.
But yeah, it's kind of tight having a doctor
Yeah.
there. I'm like,
Hell
I want
yeah.
to pick his brain before he goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ask him a couple questions.
Yeah,
hey,
hey,
I had
come
this
here.
thing with my elbow. What do you think about this?
The best is when somebody crooks their finger or their toe, and you walk over. You're like, hey, what should they do? I'd go to the ER.
Yeah, yeah.
That thing don't look right.
Yeah, I remember I dislocated my shoulder one time in the gym. We're actually sparring. It was like an MMA thing. And this kid, he was younger than me, shoots for a takedown, and all of my body weight and his body weight both land on my shoulder, and it pops right out. And I'm like, Sensei Eric, like, what do you want me to do? Like, and he's just looks at me. He's like, man, you got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to fuck it up. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
make it worse.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
I could definitely do that. So what I'm seeing is you better go to the doctor.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that the bad shoulder you're talking
Oh,
about?
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
probably when it happened, I'm guessing.
That was actually the first time it happened, but after my first initial surgery.
Ooh.
The surgery held up for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And
Shit.
it sucked because I was super close to my blue belt.
Who
and-
sprawled on you? That was a super sprawl.
Dude, he was some young, he was like 18 years old wrestler, real strong kid, you know,
Was it Greg?
athletic.
Was it
no,
Greg?
no. Greg didn't do the MMA stuff as much, but
Oh, okay.
this kid just landed right on me. You know, he was real young and eager to kind of show off, and I was
Yeah,
like,
dude,
oh
that sounds
man, this
painful.
sucks. Yeah. But yeah, it's nerve wracking in the gym when there's injuries, you know.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's hard to overcome. I mean,
Yeah.
like right now, like I was saying, I can't really train, but like I feel like,
So are you teaching right now?
so we have a 5:30 program or a 5:30 class that,
Okay.
that is usually Monday, Friday that one of our brown belts teach. And I just threw it out there like, hey, there's a lot of people that can only get here early morning, so I can come in and just go over, basic shit. And
Yeah.
so it's fun.
That's
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah, it's keeping me involved,
That's something I've thought about, like trying to talk to Manny and see if he'd be open to me doing something in the mornings, but I don't know.
Well, you just put it out there right now.
I guess so.
Hopefully, Manny's listening. What's
we're
up,
gonna,
Manny?
We're gonna see if he's listening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like for real, you got to put it out there and kind of test it out. But the best thing about it, in my opinion, is not leaving jujitsu.
Sure.
You know, you're still on the mats. You're still around the game. Like, even if you're injured, the worst thing you can do is disappear for those
Yeah,
months.
100%.
You know,
100%.
even if you're going and just watching, you're still putting it into the brain and the subconscious and things like that. So when you get back on the mat, you can work on those things.
I walked around and literally watched without even interacting with anybody for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Like when it happened in November, I did it completely different than I've done it in the past, and I just stayed. Like, I was walking on my treadmill at incline. I was showing up to the gym and just watching and just
Yeah.
just being involved. And my recovery from it being completely flared up to where I couldn't sleep with my legs elevated to being semi-normal
Yeah.
was way faster. Like,
Yeah.
before it was April to July, I think, I competed.
Yeah.
2 days after I got my MRI results, I
Wow.
said, fuck it, and I did World League and went and smashed, and
What's
that
going
was
to
it.
happen? You're going to mess it up worse?
yeah.
No, yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely a risk of like
Yeah.
paralyzation, you
Yeah,
know.
that's scary.
Yeah,
And that's
that's-
kind of where I'm stuck, my brain's like, I'm like, oh, I can invert here, I can do this, I can, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like
You got to take
my
it easy with that kind
my
of
body
stuff.
just
That's
is
scary.
not
Yeah,
happy.
you can't mess around with the spinal cord and stuff.
No,
man.
dude.
That's
Yeah.
serious business.
and back injuries. You know, being in the game, it's like being in it long enough, you're going to either have back or neck issues at some point.
Yeah.
you
oh,
know?
dude, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know
Like
a
I was
lot
telling
of-
you, my wife had
Yeah.
cervical fusion
Yeah.
from getting stacked.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
man.
man.
Yeah, retired her.
Yeah.
And that she literally does not get on the mats because she knows if she gets on the mats, she's gonna
Got
want to
love,
roll.
yeah.
And my boy just got his black belt a couple weeks ago,
Nice.
and she can't. I was like, you better fucking be there, and you better have your gi, right? I was like, this is a big deal for Delfino, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she came, and she couldn't. No, she left her gi at the cabin, right?
Yeah.
And then she showed up, and then fucking JR was like, nah, we got a gi for you. And they went, got her a gi, and she put it
Oh,
on. She was
man.
over sitting against the wall with me. And then my boy Chewy was like, hey, you want to roll, Heather? And she's like, all right, fuck it. I was like, you fucking bitch.
You called it. You knew she would, though.
I mean, I get it, though.
Yeah.
The feeling to do it is strong. And,
Yeah.
and for me, like right now, I feel like I could roll with you right now.
Right.
But then 15 minutes after that, I'm not going to be able to walk.
Right.
You know what I
right,
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
It's important. I mean, you got to live your everyday life as well. You know,
Sure.
there's responsibilities and things that we still have to do. Even if
Yeah.
we train jujitsu.
I want to do jujitsu till my hands don't work anymore,
Right.
and then I still want to do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I can't do it if I screw my back up even more. So it's like I
Yeah.
gotta wait and see what's going on with the spine.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where if it sucks to wait, but if you do, you can prolong your jujitsu. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
In the future. So
it's
definitely
tough,
gotta take
man.
care of that.
it's tough.
Yeah, it's always tough, and dealing with that kind of stuff, man. It's a scary thing too,
Yeah.
You always hear about those articles. There was that instructor in Florida a few years ago, and he
Oh,
paralyzed
yeah.
that guy, and
Yeah.
there was a lawsuit over it.
Yeah.
I mean, those things you hear about them, and then when you're rolling and you're seeing these white belts go crazy, you're like, "Hey, chill out, man, chill out, relax."
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude.
Like, especially if you're older in the game, you understand the risk on things, and these guys sometimes just go ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scary stuff.
Check
too.
the ego. That's the hardest thing that people have.
Yeah, you're right.
When they're, especially when they're newer, or guys that are coming out of wrestling, that's an
The
ego.
wrestlers
That's
are
an
the worst.
ego-driven
Yeah,
sport,
yeah.
and not hating on wrestlers because those guys are grinders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nobody else like a wrestler, but
Yeah.
like, it's hard to check that ego.
Right.
You
Right,
get competitive, and you're like, nah, I don't want to lose, even if I don't know what I'm doing. You might wrestle with your brothers
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you were younger or whatever. So
yeah.
it's tough, man.
Me and my cousin used to wrestle all the time. Shout out to J Dub Moneymaker out there.
Woo, woo.
I used to kick his ass, man. I
You
used to.
still do.
Yeah, I used to give him the sharpshooter back in the
He
day.
may be 6 foot whatever, but no.
Yeah, no, he's a big boy, dude. He's a big boy. But we growing up, we would always be close to the same size, and then he had a little growth spurt on me, and then started kicking my ass.
He had extra Flintstone vitamins.
Yeah,
That's why you started
something.
training, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I want to kick my cousin's ass forever. So no, I'm just kidding. But-
I'm so you had Kalani on,
Yeah.
and I'm super excited for him to get some relief. I didn't realize how much agony he was in on a daily
Yeah.
basis, and so I'm super excited to see him get some relief. And then I'm hoping that in the long run it's going to work for him.
Yeah.
and that will drive me because I had already
I was
talked to
gonna ask you,
CPI.
yeah.
I was going to
before.
say,
Would you
Yeah.
talk to
consider
him?
that? Yeah.
So I talked to Kalani when he said he was going down there, but I had already talked to one of the gals from CPI, and I get it, but fuck, $25,000,
Yeah.
like people are pulling out seconds on their houses and stuff to do that, and I understand
Yeah.
like the cost of it, but like that's a lot of money to do something that might just be a temporary solution. I'm not trying to get a year out of my
Sure.
back,
Right.
I'm trying to get 10 years, 15 years out of my back, not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
So
get it, yeah.
excited to see him get that relief and
Yeah.
hope it works long term. And that's great to see. Like, I think even he was saying, like, you see people online and they advertise it, but until you know somebody that actually has gone
Yeah,
through
no,
it,
it makes a huge difference. Like
Yeah.
your whole opinion on it, you feel more comfortable when you know somebody that's been through it.
Right.
And you can continually ask him questions too. Like he's
Yeah.
open and he's
Right.
putting out posts to give you an update too, which
Yeah.
is fucking helpful.
You can ask him anything, man. Kalani's fucking
He's
solid,
so cool.
dude.
Yeah, he's
Such
hella
an OG
cool.
Their
too.
whole family.
That was our longest episode, man, and I swear to God, it felt like it flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we could have talked for 2-3 hours. That
Sure.
would a Joe Rogan
Sure,
episode
sure,
right
sure.
there.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about what you're doing now, and that's kind of another reason I wanted to have you on is you got something special going on with that, and I think there's a lot of future in what you're doing. There's going to be more and more of these types of things coming around, but you're getting on board pretty early. So you know,
We'll see,
let's talk about the cabin. Let's talk about Backwoods BJJ Retreat. Let's talk about your vision with it and how it all started.
Sure. Yeah. So, like I was telling you earlier, 21, we had bought a property, rural property, and the long-term goal was to build on it. And, we were doing a bunch of work and stuff. We ended up meeting the neighbor, and he told me he was getting ready to sell his place, and I had to jump on it because it's just one of these places that, it's a true log cabin built in the 80s. It's got, it's 6.5 acres that goes all the way.
That's nice.
The property line is the middle of the river. So you have I think it's 200 feet of riverfront at the bottom. And didn't think of doing any kind of jiu-jitsu stuff up there or anything, but I kept thinking, hey, we could get a bunch of dudes up there. I've got a 3-car garage at the house where it's all matted. I bought if you remember Unlimited MMA, they're now I forget what they're called now. Rudy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I bought a bunch of the old mats from Unlimited, and my whole garage is done. Like I said, my wife's a personal trainer, and then I bring friends over with their kids and work wrestling and jiu-jitsu with them and stuff. And then I actually had a dude that was a amateur Muay Thai fighter that rented a room from us and had a program in the gym
Very cool.
at the house. And so I was like, I'll bring the mats up and we'll have a fun weekend. People can bring their families and train. And then I got to start to think about it and seeing these other places. It's like, not throwing shade at them, but like $5,000 for 4 days, or $600 to fly.
They're pricey, man.
Well, so some of the places are like, you go to Costa Rica, right? So the $600 you pay them is just to like be on the mats. They might give you lunch and stuff, but they're not paying for your accommodation. They're not paying for your flight. People can't afford that stuff.
Right.
That's crazy expensive.
You know,
especially this day and age, unless you're making that fast food money that everyone's talking about. But
not even, man, not even. But yeah, so basically, I was like, screw it. There's a shop up there, and it's like 30 by 25, and I was like, we could do puzzle mats, but it's not the same. And then I started measuring all the mats on the walls.
Yeah.
Because they're all rollout mats. I was like, this will fit,
Yeah.
And so actually my buddy Juan, one of the white belts I was telling you about that comes to 5:30 class, he went up there and helped me start finishing it off. And we did our first open mat New Year's weekend. We had a couple locals come up, and then we had a few people from the gym come up. And it wasn't that many people, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I just got to thinking, like, we could do this often, but we do like a short-term rental on the cabin to help us offset some of the costs.
Right.
And so in order for me to get the CFO involved, Heather, shout out to Heather, we have to make it make sense. So if we're going to have people up and take over the cabin, then we've got to cover that income.
100%.
So we just kind of crunched some numbers, and we're like, well, if we could get like a brown belt to come up and teach, because I'm not going to teach people, like, I'm just teaching basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like just
fundamentals,
purple to white belt stuff, right? Like that's what I'm helping with. And so my idea behind the whole thing was like, if we could get a brown belt that just wants to come up and chill, or a black belt that just wants to come up and chill, we'll feed them and have people come up, and everybody can throw some money in, and we can pay for the food and pay for the income, you know, and just kind of have fun and train in this, like I was telling you, like, you're not going to understand until you get
paradise,
there. Yeah. I call it my church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So, the vision is just to, like, for one, keep it going, and for two, to just make sure that it's accessible and affordable.
Right.
The first thing that everybody said out of my training partners when I was trying to set the first one up was how much. That's the first thing that comes out of everybody's mouth, because people are always concerned about money, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's part of your life. So. First one was like $100. That covered food and cleaning. We didn't cover the income that we would normally pull in for that weekend for the first one, because we were just trying it out. But the vibe was like, the whole weekend, and the vibe was better than I could have ever imagined.
Yeah,
it was just laughs and smiles and good rolls and good instruction. Philippe came up. He's a 4th degree black belt from Brazil.
That's tight.
Super dude.
That's
like
cool.
Philippe he's awesome, man. Yeah. And he had a blast. He brought his son up, and he taught the 2 classes, and he'll be back. He loves going climbing and shit, and that's really what it's geared towards, people like getting outdoors and then training, right? So
and from my understanding, there's how cold does it get up there in that little lake, in that cold plunge you were talking about?
In the wintertime, it's probably in the low 50s.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Probably high 40s, low 50s.
Yeah. But
you ever cold plunged before?
No, man. I'm trying to get into it.
Go do it.
I'd like to do it. I probably
snow
will.
Melt will be
in June.
prime.
It'll be nice, right?
Oh, dude, it'll be nice in
fresh
June.
snow melt ready for you, dude.
So
we'll record it. We'll put it on our YouTube.
Yeah,
dude, I want to do the ice bath. I want to get into that, bro.
Don't ignore me. We're gonna record it. We're gonna put it on our YouTube.
How many ice baths do you do?
I do at least 3 a day.
3 a day.
I've never done one.
I have one at the house.
Never done one?
No.
I have one at the house.
Yeah.
I do it.
How long do you go?
Every day. Usually 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
What temperature?
Right now, I think I have it set at 48.
48.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
48,
cool.
47. It varies.
What are you supposed to do it at that kind of range?
Depends on, everybody's different. So you're supposed to do it like as cold as you can take it.
Yeah.
And the goal from Huberman or whatever, the goal is like 11 minutes total for the week. But for me, I do it for like the active recovery in my joints. It doesn't
Yeah.
help my back. It's the one fucking thing it doesn't help.
Wow.
But I could be super sore. Like you could have tried to fight an arm bar too long and your elbow would be fucked up.
Right.
I could do 5 minutes in that and I won't have any soreness for like 4 or 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah. So like so when I was
Is it because you're numb for 4 or 5
no, it
hours?
just reduces the inflammation, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. You're only numb for like, I don't know, 2 minutes. Got to do some air squats, get that that core back up, right? Get
Yeah.
out and do some push-ups or some air squats because you don't want your core
Yeah, you don't want to
temperature
go into
get too low.
hypothermia, right? That's pretty freaky.
But
Yeah,
it's
dude.
it's awesome, man. I built one out of like a chest freezer like that.
Yeah, I've seen people do that on somewhere online. I seen that you can turn those chest freezers, especially the longer ones, into those.
Yeah.
I've seen the ice or the cattle troughs too.
Yep.
I've
Yeah.
seen those. Those
Yep.
are pretty common.
You got to have a chiller with those unless you're dropping ice, and making
Yeah.
that much ice is a pain in the ass.
And people nowadays are doing ice makers. They're getting them on Amazon and they're producing their own ice or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
but that's got to be expensive.
I don't know.
It's
don't know.
just a pain in the ass because I
Yeah.
tried to do it in my tub before I invested any money.
Right.
And the reason why I actually finally built mine was because we got one at the academy. Brandon got one,
Yeah.
and I tried it, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I'm building mine finally." You know, it took me like a year and a half, and then when I tried Brandon's, I was like, "I'm building one. I need this at my house."
Yeah.
Damn. Is he Lujitsu, Louis Akari?
Yeah.
He does that all the time and posts all the time. Every morning he's like super, on schedule with this stuff. And I'm like, dude, no way.
Yeah. Those ice baths are intense, man.
Like he'll do it in the middle of winter, bro.
Yeah, JR shows up like every morning at the academy. I'll be in there teaching class, and he'll come in his work clothes with his work boots not tied, and freaking go in there, hit it for 5 minutes, and then get dressed and go to
Yeah.
work every day.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
that guy's a
commitment.
savage, dude.
There's one guy that trains with us. He's former military, and he does a cold shower every single morning. I'm like, dude, that's crazy.
That's the way to start.
Yeah.
If you're not sure about getting in, is just start doing cold showers.
Yeah.
And it's just to kind of get your brain,
The mental thing.
you're
is
supposed
what
to
you-
be
yeah.
uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
It's like when you first started training and somebody got you inside control and you'd never had been smothered like that before, and you're like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Your brain wants to fight or flight, and it's
Yeah.
pushing through it,
Yeah, it's the mental battle, with that type of thing. My cousin did an ice bath recently, and somebody ordered one on Amazon. It's like a pre-made thing, and you
Yeah.
just fill it with ice or whatever. But it's smaller, I guess, to where you only need so many bags. But man, those things are intense, dude.
Yeah,
Sounds like a pain in the ass.
can be.
I'm
It
sure.
does.
It can
I'm
be.
sure
It
you
really
got to
does.
clean them and do some crazy
I
stuff.
dove
right?
deep. I started like mine's twice that size. It's a big ass one.
Yeah.
It's old, and basically, you can spend a ton of money fixing them up. I just bought a pond liner and a whole house filter and
Yeah.
a pond pump, and I rocked that for a bit with hydrogen peroxide,
Okay.
and then you got to change the water like once a month in that situation because it's not like bacteria, but it's actually like not mold, but like a mold type
Yeah.
situation. And I was like, fuck this, dude. I don't have time to be draining this thing once a month, right?
Right.
So then I ended up and peroxide is expensive,
Yeah,
right? You got to
it
buy
adds up.
food grade peroxide.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying an ozone generator
Okay.
and then put that on a timer. You could
Wow.
go 7 months without changing. I mean, you got to get in there clean. You can't go straight in from rolling, right?
Yeah.
Or from the backyard or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. That'd be nasty.
But I've made it. I've literally made it as easy as
That's cool.
I'm super lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm like, if I have to deal with it, I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Like I've got other shit to do, like jujitsu
Yeah.
or whatever.
right.
Did you guys see on Daisy Fresh they had one of the big chest freezers and they were doing ice baths in it and they were all jumping in after each other?
No,
It was like pretty disgusting.
no.
What
like-
episode was that?
I don't know. I think it was season 1 or something.
Huh.
No, I don't
But
remember
yeah,
that.
something on Flow. I thought it was Daisy Fresh, but they're all jumping
You
in
don't
after
even
each
have
other.
flow. What do you know?
What are you talking about? I
We
have
just
Flow
talked
right
about this
here.
last week.
No, I've
Oh.
always had Flow.
You don't got
Rich
flow.
doesn't have Flow.
You don't have flow.
I have Flow,
You do
dude.
not.
Oh my
Then
god.
why are you missing it?
What are you talking about?
All of it.
Oh God, here Chris goes. But anyways,
I'm glad I could be here to be an intermediary or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You got flow. Didn't even
Intermediate.
watch the trials.
This guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, have you guys seen this PGF thing? I think I sent it to you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seen it?
It's blowing up.
It's starting this weekend.
Yeah.
The 6th season is this weekend.
One of the guys that's running it is I think he's the guitarist for Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, he was like
He's
the
dope,
the
dude.
main
He's high.
investor.
He's a black belt in judo and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
with
he's
all
pretty
his
savage.
dreads.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
It looks
dude?
hella cool with his
How do you
dreads and
roll
his
with your
gi.
dreads like that, dude?
Yeah.
Dude, I know. I couldn't imagine. That'd be
Check it out on
too,
YouTube.
too
Yeah, you-
irritating.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out.
It's I found it because I'll zone out on YouTube, and it was not like the season, but it was kind of like a little mini documentary when they were first getting started, and it kind of, when you start watching it, it's a little confusing, but once you like get into it, you can understand what they're trying to do with it.
Is this the one that's going to have Jeff Glover versus Uriah Faber combat jiu-jitsu?
No.
Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
it's
that.
coming up.
Yeah.
I think
thought
that's
it was
Uriah
on this.
Faber's promotion. I think isn't
Is
it?
it?
A1.
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's
A1.
A1.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
No, this is so basically what they do is people have to qualify, right, throughout whatever they call it seasons, and then they bring in 4 coaches, right? And this year I think it's going to be Hodger. It was supposed to be Bravo, Galvo, Hodger, and Machado. And basically what they do is these guys that have qualified, they do like a draft. So they give each coach like, $2,500 or something.
Yeah.
And then they have to bid for their team.
Like DraftKings style?
I don't know DraftKings, right? I'm not a
But
gambler.
like,
Yeah.
is it like you get so much money to spend on these guys? Or?
Correct. To build
Okay.
your team, yeah. And then so like it's interesting because they do a season and a season's a week. And which it's starting this Sunday, the 21st.
Okay.
It's on Fight Pass. And so you build your team, and then a kill is like a finish, right? Essentially like a choke.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then a break, so different points for different things. So if you get a kill, it's 5 points. Yeah, it's 5 points. But if you get it in the first minute of the match, it's an extra point. So
Oh, wow.
it's either 5 or 6 points, right? And then a break is just 1 point, but it has to finish with a finish. If it goes to the end, then they'll do like a 1 minute first to escape. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was enjoying it. I mean, it's no gi. It's a little scrambly. I'm not a big no-gi guy, but it's something fun to just like throw on and kind of have
Yeah.
going on in the background.
Different set of rules too. That's
What was
tight.
that other one? Who's Next or something like that? The one on Flow.
Who's
Was that what it was called?
who's next?
He's
or-
gonna hate it. I'm not on Flow.
Yeah. See, this
No,
guy.
no,
he's
no,
I got
that's-
other
but
shit to
that's
pay
cool, though.
for.
right.
But that's cool though. He's not giving me shit about missing all these events, and you don't even watch the big ones.
Dude, I mean, I could watch him at any time. I have Flow.
No. Oh my god. All right, put these mats back down. bro.
Shit.
It's on.
It's the call out.
Yeah.
But Chris has been very excited to play this game with you.
Oh shit.
And I'm glad you're on this week. If you're down, you can say
We
no.
can do it. I'm gonna fuck
All
it
right.
up, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
No, you can get a little bit of time to explain your reasoning behind it. Don't feel rushed or anything. We're not going to put you on the spot, but yeah, Chris has been very eager for this one.
I just want to keep this going. Keep this tradition.
Well, hold
alive.
on. You guys haven't even asked me about my fucking purple eye.
Yeah, is that a contact?
Is
No.
it purple?
Yeah.
I didn't know what color it was. It looks tight though.
It's a glass eye. I lost
Yeah.
my eye in Utah when I lived out there.
In
How?
jiu-jitsu?
No, in ski.
Oh.
In ski. I didn't do jujitsu
U-
then.
Yeah,
UFC
that is-
gloves, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into those questions, I'm like, people normally ask me, but yeah,
Damn.
I mean, we have
I'm putting myself on the spot.
we have a guy that trains with us and he has one hand. So
Sure.
like we're just always like, oh man, like everyone always
Right.
ask him,
right.
you know. So
I'm not tripping on
I
it.
don't get
Yeah.
used to asking people.
I call myself the pirate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, that's
Love it.
tight.
I like how you got it the custom though. The
yeah.
Gracie
So I had
triangle.
a blue one. It was all white, and the center was the blue Gracie Fighter
That's tight.
symbol. Yeah.
That's tight.
So it's
Gracie Fighter
I
symbol.
fucking wish that. Well, I hope I can
It's gonna look
get healthy
scary.
enough to get back to competition because it's part of my
Did-
part of my steal. You know,
Yeah.
that fucking looking across me on the mats like, holy shit, this guy's gonna
Yeah.
fuck me up.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say when he gets his brown belt and changes to brown, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, that's tight.
It's gonna be scary. That's cool though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean
This
to.
no.
not at
Th-
all.
Let me ask you this: does it ever fuck with you, like when you roll? Like, I'm
So
just
I told you
curious.
I've been Brandon's Uki since they
Yeah.
opened their academy, and he was doing that that kind of little hop over straight arm bar from side control.
Yeah.
And he fucking landed his knee straight on my eye.
Oh.
And it fucking like cut my eyelid. And you should have seen his face,
Yeah.
dude. He
Probably
looked
freaking out.
it hurt, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't the end of the world because it's just plastic, right?
Yeah.
And it's gonna put pressure. I'm sure if somebody socked me super hard or if I hit it, it would fuck me up. But
Yeah.
Right.
when Brandon landed on it, and I was and all of a sudden I popped up and it was bleeding, and he looked like he saw a ghost, dude.
Oh, poor guy. Damn.
And it's the Pee Wee class, so
Yeah.
like all these kids are looking at Coach Brandon like, what's going on? And Brandon's like, I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm just like yeah. I'd be curious how it would affect you, in different ways. Like,
Nah, just like fucking hairs get stuck in it and shit. Here, it's just a piece of plastic. Like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not a big deal.
really?
Yeah.
You want to see it, Dave?
I got a couple.
Hey, don't be scared.
I got a
Dave.
couple novelties. So Eric Lindsay, he's a Ocularist. The people that make these are Ocularists. He's a blue
Yeah.
belt under. Where's he trained? Somewhere at a SAC. It's not Weirnick. I met him at Grappling X, and usually when people see me with my regular prosthetic, they think I have like a lazy eye.
yeah,
And I was sitting there watching my division. I injured my my shoulder before the tournament, so I went to go watch my division because I couldn't compete.
yeah,
And I went up to the dude that I was supposed to go against, and I was like, "Hey, that was a good match. You could have got out or whatever." And then Eric comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, who did your prosthetic?" And that kind of floored me. Like, most people think I have a lazy eye or whatever, and he actually was an apprentice under the dude who'd done it.
Oh, wow.
Out of the
Oh,
city.
that's
yeah.
cool.
And he actually he was going to come to the last retreat.
yeah.
Real nice guy out of SAC.
That's hella
Yeah,
cool.
that's pretty tight, man.
It was a trip.
Yeah. So you ready to play the game?
Yeah,
I
are you
fucking
ready?
sidetracked the
Let's
shit
do it.
out of you
No,
guys.
He's
yeah,
trying
you
to get
did.
out of it.
He totally pulled a Michael
I see.
Bisping on us.
Yeah.
He handed his eye to
Right,
Chris.
right in the middle of the
Yeah.
interview.
Did.
Handed
Threw
his
me
eye
off
to Chris.
track.
Hey, work with this.
Yeah.
He's just, here you go. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
Chris tried to hand it to me. I refused it.
Sissy. All right, so here we go. We're gonna rattle off a few names. Okay, excuse me.
Overrated.
or underappreciated. Okay, you ready?
I'll try my best.
All right, we're gonna start out with Andrew Wiltsey.
I don't know who the fuck that is. I'm just
Awesome.
gonna say underappreciated.
He's Heath Pettigo's first black belt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the guy who was in the.
He's been disappeared from the grappling scene for a while, though, right? He got injured, and then he
Yeah.
went through a mental health battle for a minute, and he was pretty open about it on Instagram, but
Okay.
he kind of disappeared for a minute.
So let's do this. Let's switch gears. We do UFC fighters. Is that more your speed there?
Sure.
Let's do that. Dave, you comfortable with that?
You do your thing.
Stop staring
You
at me
do
like
you
that.
do you, boo.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Here we go.
You do
He
you.
got you with the boo.
Here we go. Obvious. This one's an easy one. Here.
You said it wasn't timed. He's fucking looking at his
Yeah.
watch over here.
This
Holloway.
guy,
Max Holloway, that's my boy. He's
on.
super
Come on.
underappreciated.
That's what I'm saying.
baddest motherfucker.
I
dude.
just had to throw an easy one out to start it out. All right.
Did you see what he did at the last fight?
Yeah.
You know how
Did
much
you
I
watch
love
UFC
Max?
300?
When Volk
God.
beat Max, I couldn't accept it. I was like, "Fuck Volkanovski, he's not that good."
Right.
And then Volkanovski ended up I was like, "Damn, this guy's the real deal."
3 times, right? Total.
dude. Like
Yeah.
but I think it'd be a different match today.
Hey,
because
I'm with
Volk
you
got
though.
that-
I was hurt when
Okay.
he lost those matches because I was like, man, Max
Here's-
works so hard, like so much, like
and he's
love for
super
Max.
humble.
Yeah.
Like that's like
But he's like a real BMF.
Dude, he really is.
Zhang Wei Li, same thing. Like she's super humble. Like puts in the
Yeah.
work. Like those are the people like champions at heart.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
100%.
All right. Coming up next.
Like I know him.
Yeah, it's all good though. But like, if you're a fan, you feel like you know people sometimes. I feel like that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
I'm fucking your game up.
Overrated,
Fucking your game up.
underappreciated.
You know, Chris is just on the spot. He's
Ready?
all
Yeah,
he looks
I'm ready.
nervous.
Kayla Harrison.
I don't even know who that is.
Because you don't watch shit.
Hey, she did my girl Holly dirty though.
She made her look like an amateur, bro.
But Holly's my
I think
age
there was probably a little discrepancy there in the weight, though.
for sure.
I mean, so have you
Holly's
seen?
old for the game.
Have you seen the
dude.
meme where it's John Cena in a wig and they're saying that looks like Kayla Harrison? Like, she was so jacked, bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Yeah, she's a beast, dude.
Yeah, she's got arms of
she's a
steel,
beast.
dude.
So Amanda
Those
Nunes,
biceps are
yeah?
huge.
I-
Amanda Nunez or her?
Ooh,
I like Amanda retired. I just do. She has nothing to prove.
I think that's a good match, though.
You know she'll come back though.
Nothing to prove.
She definitely doesn't, but
You know
maybe
she'll
she wants
do
to
it.
get paid.
Yeah, I mean, you make a nice paycheck, but like to me, I hate when people take those fights and,
So
and it
who's-
just kind of like,
Who's Kayla Harrison's big fight then, if not her?
I mean, they got to build that division back up. Let's be real, you know.
Yeah.
They got a lot of building to do.
Yeah.
They can't rely on Holly Holmes anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's just the truth.
Okay. All right. Let's
I'll say underappreciated for now because she's kind of in that Rousey position where there's not going to be a lot of competition for her, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of what happens is that helps build up those divisions because you have to. It's like
Yeah.
if you're only rolling with the brown belt every day, right? You're going to have to eventually adapt to that skill level, right?
Right, for sure. Okay, let's take it back. Let's rewind a little bit in the UFC here. BJ Penn.
Oh man, I'm not.
staring at me.
I'm gonna say. In recent news, he's definitely.
What did he do recently?
Yeah,
he's been in some shit in the past couple
The
of years, like
fights
getting
and
in
stuff,
fucking
the bar
random
fights?
street fights
Yeah.
and shit. That's
he
like
got knocked out by a bouncer.
yeah,
right?
like
What?
I would say back in the day underappreciated, but now
Is he acting like a fool
in his
lately?
older years, I would say he's overrated.
I heard he sobered up because he ran for governor of Hawaii or something like that. So he got like real clean and sober and
Okay.
tried to take care of himself.
You just can't be doing dirtbag shit later in life.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Like
Okay.
you're gonna lose some points with me on that.
I hear you. I agree.
A lot of Hawaiians are
Like
going.
All right, let's-
again, like I know him, right?
Let's keep it rewound a little bit. Let's go Quentin Rampage Jackson.
Overrated, bro.
Oh, that was quick.
Overrated, bro.
That was quick.
Overrated. It's
Tell me why.
Because anybody can be a big motherfucker.
Yeah. Anybody can have that
Anybody
power.
can be born. Look at Ngannou.
Yeah.
Look at Ngannou.
Yeah, he just got murdered.
Bro,
in that
I didn't
last
even
one.
think that was real. I thought
Yeah.
somebody did some CGI on him on that one.
that was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Face plant.
Rampage, again, like the attitude, I'm more like, yeah, you can have skills and you can fuck people up, but if you're not humble and like jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you know that you could choke somebody to death, you don't go around flaunting that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah. That's
true.
You know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
go
Like,
choke everyone to death at the grocery store.
Rampage did seem to have a lot of videos where he threatened to beat somebody's
What about
ass.
his acting skills? How do you feel about those? A-Team.
I don't
You
know.
watched that?
It's hard for
Yeah,
me to watch
dude,
those.
would.
18
You look
was
like
good,
the kind
man.
of guy that would. You're
That A-Team was good.
diesel hat backwards.
What's that one? That other one, The Expendable. I can't watch those
Yeah.
movies.
No.
I can't watch the Expendables, but the A-Team was good.
You're the reason they have 7 of them, Dave.
Like I'm Mr.
You're
T,
one of
bro.
those
Like,
yeah.
I'm an '80s baby. Like,
yeah.
watching reruns,
Miss-
all that shit.
Mr. T is the man.
Okay, last one just because I brought up his name earlier. Uriah Faber.
Uriah Faber was a freaking trailblazer, and I went to his fight in SAC in what was it, 2018 or 2019?
Yeah, I was there too.
He won
His
Ricky
comeback
The
Simone.
fight.
UFC one? Or
Yeah,
The,
Yeah.
UFC one. Yeah, was it Ricky Simone he fought?
It's
The
something like
kid
that,
out of
yeah.
Washington,
Yeah.
and he was a trailblazer, man. I think he was just in the wrong point in time. I think he's underappreciated for especially in Northern California for helping build up all those fights. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of people came through Alpha Male. And
Danny Castillo.
he
Yeah.
made that division fun
sure,
and interesting, right?
Sure.
He put power and technique together, I think, in that division.
Those fights with Jens Pulver in
Dude,
the WEC.
I almost asked about Jens Pulver, but I
ask away.
all right,
baby.
let's do one more. Jens Pulver.
underappreciated.
All right, all
Come
right.
here,
I feel
man.
you.
Another trailblazer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you would have
absolutely.
if you would have said Dominic Cruz, I would have said it faster than
Oh yeah.
Then
Dominic Cruz. I cannot stand his
overrated, bro.
commentary.
Don't
Like
get me
get
started
out
on
of
that.
here. When Cody Garbrandt pieced him up, I was like,
Oh yes,
It's so bad.
dude. His commentary is the worst. He's so
Yeah.
biased.
it's like Joe Buck.
Yeah, it's the
It's like
worst.
Joe Buck
No one
watching
likes
football.
Joe Buck.
What I don't like either is he talks like, oh, this is what he needs to do. How come you didn't do it?
Yeah.
Because you were a champ for a little bit, but then lost it. And
He dealt with a lot of
He
injuries.
Went
did.
down,
He
yeah.
did. I was gonna say that.
The
He
best
did
years
have
of
a lot
his
injuries,
career, I feel like, were
WEC,
laced
huh?
with knee blowouts and
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
But it's that wild style. You can't
Yeah,
just be the
very
rubber
true.
man and not expect to,
Yeah, but those lighter weights did that, you know. That's
Yeah.
how they made their flash because they didn't have knockout power for the most part, so they
Right.
got to make it fun somehow. You
They're
know?
getting there now, though. These guys are getting some
I-
heat behind there.
Yeah.
I got one for you. TJ Dillashaw.
TJ
Oh,
Dillashaw,
that's a good one,
bro, overrated.
What?
He's done. Look.
Boom.
I love TJ.
Why?
I was a big fan until he got caught up.
Yeah, that was hard.
And to me,
We're
you're
anti-Jews,
done.
Dave.
You're done, bro. We don't eat Canelo horse meat over here. That's not how it works.
but it's
I
TJ
think-
Dillashaw. I felt like he was influenced by like his managers or somebody around him.
There's a draw.
You
all right,
know?
you're gonna make a lot of money. You're gonna be a flashy superstar, but you got to do it right. You can't be doing Barry Bonds shit. I
And-
mean,
Yeah.
And what sucked about that because he went down in weight and he was skinnier than shit. He looked like he was near death.
Well, the
You know?
the steroid he took was supposed to be helpful with the cardio factor, so
Right.
that's why he was that
Which he always
powerful.
had great cardio.
Right, but look
But
at
as
look
you
at what
get
happened
as
though.
you get
was
older-
it
Yeah.
was it in the 4th or 5th round when he knocked out Garbrandt? Is that when it was?
No, dude, it was. I want to say the second fight. It was early.
I don't remember. There's
When he
Yeah.
got when it was the fight after. It was like the fight
I could Jamie that for you.
right
Yeah.
before. Yeah, the fight right before he got tested hot. It was like later in the rounds or
I
something.
just-
he was still bouncing around.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he
he's
just
always
started.
had good cardio, man.
Yeah, but then why do that?
I don't know.
Right?
I felt
Obviously
like
he
he was
didn't.
influenced. you know?
Obviously he didn't. You think there was the guy in behind the school, behind the dumpster, like you say, with the trench coat,
maybe.
like you were talking about? Is that what you think
Maybe.
happened?
I
he
got the
fell,
solution to all your
Yeah.
problems.
he fell victim to that
Hey,
guy.
TJ, why
Don't
you
get me
have some of
wrong.
This EPO.
That
Talented fighter, right?
Fucking
But
creepy.
he nailed it though.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, that's
nailed
the
it.
creepy
Yeah.
part, bro.
I mean, he's from Stockton, right?
Yeah, dog. What's up?
Jeez.
I've been approached before.
I bet.
You ever been to Mexico?
No.
People come up to you like that,
Oh, yeah.
dude, all the time.
Amsterdam too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What did you go to Mexico for?
I've been to Mexico a couple
He's
times.
looking for that horse
Vacation,
meat,
dude.
He's looking for that.
Baller.
Hey, I did go to the pharmacy. I'm like, hey, where's the steroids? And I didn't know the Spanish word for steroids.
They probably
so.
try to give you Viagra.
No, I forget what they tried to give me.
Stupid
Like,
gringo.
That's
went
what they
to-
try to give everybody.
That'd be funny.
It was like their Walmart type of store, you know.
Yeah.
We walked in and we went to the pharmacy and we're like, steroids, like testosterone. And,
They just
and
sell it
they
like
just
that?
were like, what?
Yeah, you can get whatever you
Yeah,
want.
dude. And we
There's
didn't have
lit-
success. We were young, dude. We were like 17.
Yeah,
me and
there's
my
like
cousin.
little stores like this size, and it's literally like a giant blue penis dude that like looks like
Oh, yeah.
Superman because
That's
they're
hella
advertising Viagra.
Yeah.
That's hella funny.
People do it all the time, dude.
Can you
It's
imagine
popular.
steroided Dave? Oh, that'd be funny.
Hey, I thought about doing it for like, building up muscle around my shoulders.
You should do it. Do it.
Oh, no.
Do it right now.
A lot of people are on TRT, man.
Yeah.
Do it.
No.
Why? What do you got to lose?
I don't like needles.
You don't have to do needles, right?
That's the best way to
I
do it
don't know.
without getting your liver all
Well, if you're
fucked
going to be a
up.
little bitch and scared of needles, and you got to find another way to do it.
But I don't want to do it. You want me to do it.
I think you should. I think it would help you.
He wants to use you as a test subject.
Yeah. He's like, you should do it. You should do it. Well, you want to do it.
I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I want you to do
Get
it.
that Dillashaw coming out.
Yeah. I'd get on EPO. Have the best cardio in the game, dude.
Shit.
I
That's
don't even know
tight.
what is that.
They
like,
take out your
wash
blood.
your blood or
yeah.
something.
They inject like chemicals or something.
They
into it.
take out did you
up your
say
red
they
blood
take out your
count.
blood?
Yeah,
It's
and
like
they up your red blood
it's like
count.
almost like a dialysis
Yeah,
situation.
very
where
similar.
They're pumping it out and cleaning and like spinning it and then putting it back in. Similar to like PR.
That's why he couldn't
platelet
deny
rich.
that he did it because like you literally got injections of your own blood. Like
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that was.
it's hard to
a thing.
hide
Yeah,
that one.
it's
It wasn't like the
like
John
the vampire situation. That's what they they say. Hey, it's like literally cleaning your blood and making it so that you're that much more youthful or whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy.
People
that's
are
why I
desperate.
say
Yeah. no.
overrated, bro.
You can sell anything as long as they think it's the fountain of youth, man.
Yeah.
You know?
That cold plunge is the fountain of youth.
Okay, never mind. Can't sell everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's
I told you I'll get off into the weeds, man.
Oh no, it's good. It's good. It's fun
Chris
stuff.
Chris is just thinking about doing a cold plunge right now.
He's thinking about going to Mexico and meeting the big blue Viagra man.
No, that cold plunge does sound scary though.
No, it's fun, dude. Try it.
I saw those videos
It's
you
not
had,
fun.
and
It's
it was
not
pretty
fun.
badass looking, like with
With-
the snow and everything.
Oh yeah.
So
We weren't expecting snow either.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that was perfect timing. How
it
that
was
snowed.
cool though because I got up and there was literally 3 inches of snow on the ground for the 5 or 6 o'clock class, and I was laughing. That's when I did that live video because I knew they had to walk over from the cabin. My parents ended up buying a place above us,
Okay.
my adopted parents, and we stay up there, and everybody else stays in the cabin. That way, we're not taking bed space, right?
Yeah.
So the cabin, I kind of got off with the whole cabin thing, but
Yeah.
so the cabin thing is not like a lot of these other retreats. You're in shared space. There's bunk beds. There's cots, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's gonna have, a real bed, but that's what keeps it affordable.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we don't stay in the cabin when there's an event. That way, there's beds for other people, right?
Yeah.
Because we can rough it. We
Right.
go up to my parents' house or whatever up
Right.
the hill. But that's why I was laughing that morning, because my boy Juan had to walk over. I got a little side by side that I drive around, or a quad,
Yeah.
and it's 6 a.m, and he had to walk over in the snow in his freaking flip flops. And I'm just laughing,
Oh,
dude.
damn.
Like,
That's good for you though.
Yeah.
It's good for the joints.
Yeah.
Cold plunge the toes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right? First thing in the morning.
He gets on the mats and he's got the Mr. Deeds toes.
Oh,
so bad, dude. So
that
bad.
was so gross.
No, but you are having an event out in June.
Yeah,
Let's,
weekend of the 28th, June 28th. Alika
Yeah.
Foster's going to be teaching. I think he's going to have. You guys know Kirk. He competed against my boy Rod at that Art of Swab that you were
Yeah,
up
yeah,
in
yeah.
the one
Yeah.
over here in Stockton.
I remember.
I think he's going to bring him up, and maybe Cyrus.
He's a strong guy, dude.
Oh, that guy's a beast.
Yeah,
I went
solid.
to an open mat the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ, that guy's huge.
Yeah, he's
you know.
solid.
But so Alika's going to come up and teach. We had Almansor Vaz. I don't know if you know Almansor. He's I think he's a 5th degree black belt.
Wow.
I think he's 4th degree, and he's in Masters 5. Super active competitor in IBJJF. He's got a goal to be number 1 this year.
Wow.
And
That's
so
tight.
they announced a tournament that same weekend. He had already committed. But I told him, like, dude, if you got a goal, like, don't worry about us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You'd only be teaching, like, a class anyway.
Yeah.
It's more to, like, have you up,
Yeah.
right? Like, Steve, I'm going to butcher his last name, Steve Placido. You guys might know him from the Stockton scene from back in the day. He's, Sensei Steve owns Darcy Lira Tracy.
Okay.
And so Almansor teaches alongside with Steve at Darcy Lira, and Steve was supposed to come up to our first event a couple weeks ago, and he couldn't. Somebody else was getting their black belt; he couldn't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Man, I'm sorry if I was like, dude, no, I just wanted you to come up. Like, the whole thing is for you to come up and have fun, right?
Right.
Like, that's the whole situation. Like,
Right.
I want everybody to come up and have a good time. Even if you don't want to roll, go sit in the hammock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go down to the river and
Yeah. Get a weekend away.
Do
for
whatever,
a pretty
like-
affordable rate.
Enjoy
you
the
know?
outdoors.
And it's, I think that the thing that people don't realize is how secluded it is, because most people get a cabin. They're used to like going to Tahoe or whatever, and your neighbor's like 50 feet next to you.
Yeah.
We're on 6.5 acres. There's the one full-time neighbor is like 350 feet up the hill. He never comes out of his house.
Yeah.
So you're out, and then you're surrounded by, national forest.
Right.
There's nobody out there. You might hear a few gunshots here and there, people doing, target shooting
Yeah.
out in the forest, and a truck on the road. There's nothing out there. So
That's tight.
it's just a different situation,
Yeah, it's probably really, really good for the mental health. I
Oh,
would
dude.
imagine. You know,
I feel
just
it.
being in that environment.
When I stay down here too long, I start feeling it, man. My
Yeah.
eye starts twitching and shit. I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
These
Going
people are
up
fucking
top.
in my way in the grocery line. Like, I gotta
Right.
go. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
not really, but you know what I'm saying.
I
Like,
get it, yeah.
Your cortisol levels and shit. I think jujitsu keeps me down.
Jiu-jitsu and nature, man. That's
Yeah.
a winning freaking
Yeah.
combo.
for sure.
Yeah, and so we're planning on being up there in June. And if anyone wants to get a hold of you about that, how would they reach you?
The best way is to message me on Instagram, backwoods_BJJ _retreat. But you could go to the website, which is kind of piggybacked off of the cabin. It's bjjcabin.com. I got it on my hat.
Yeah.
That you can look at it that way. That's kind of under construction. Just message on Instagram. That's the best way to do it, because I'm on there all
Yeah.
the time. In between training or work or whatever. So
Sweet.
Yeah. And it's awesome, if you can make it up, even if it's just for like the weekend, the open mats on Sundays, try to get a hold of him, try to work that out, and get out there and support him. That's one of the things that you do, and one of the things I love about you is, man, you always give the love and support to the local community.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to have you on, so we could give that love right back to you.
I
And
appreciate
get
it,
some
man.
exposure to this thing, and hopefully work something out to where down the road we do a little bit more together. So,
Sure.
I'm happy you were on this episode, man. And if you want to make a shout out to anybody, here's your chance. Whatever you want to talk about, go ahead and plug it.
I mean, I've already mentioned most of the people, or not most of them, but a lot of them, freaking Kalani over at BBB, Stockton, Aries Stockton, the Foster family. I've talked about the Cardonas. I mean, I'm so grateful and thankful to be able to be involved with them. Manny and Meredith, they're solid people. I used to bring my daughter up to Strive at their old location when they were on the second floor and cross train.
I remember that.
They always were welcoming with open arms. That was the thing when my daughter was training, was I'd take her all over, and really that's how I met the Fosters, right? My daughter competed against his youngest, and they were always hella cool and just super nice. And then come through and train or whatever, and still to this day I'll see him at tournaments, and
he's good people.
I mean, the Cardonas, so like it's literally called Open Mat Academy. Like they've been around training all over, starting in Stockton, traveling around, and just they're super giving people, caring people, their heart's in it. I mean, I don't think I'd still be training jiu-jitsu if it wasn't for them, because of the environment that they create. If I would have ended up at one of the alternatives in town, I would probably, the vibe wouldn't have been there, and I would have just gave up on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is easy to do. You guys know with the mat time and the injuries and just the dedication, right? So, like I said, you guys freaking having me on here and sharing my stuff, and I'm happy to share your stuff. Like, to me, it's like the difference between going to the small business hardware store or going to Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
You want to support the people in your community.
Right.
And it's not necessarily about like gaining anything. It's just about propping each other up, right?
Yeah.
And even though jiu-jitsu's gotten like really big since I'm sure than when you guys started, it's still a really small community because of the high dropout rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is. You're 100% correct about that.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
I mean, Ground Gamer, right? Yeah. Brandon at Ground Gamer. I don't know if you saw the rash guard mock-up that he did. That dude's solid. He's a brown belt at Darcy Lira in Tracy. He's helping us out with that, and big shout to him. He makes some quality. I got one of his ranked rash guards.
Yeah.
Super high quality stuff. He makes hoodies and all kinds of stuff. So
he's a cool guy. I've competed against him before.
Nice.
At World League.
Yeah.
Cool
nice.
guy.
Nice.
That's awesome. But thank you for being a part of this episode, man. Go check out Backwoods BJJ Retreat. We're going to be out there. We're going to be doing some podcasting. Hopefully we're down to talk to whoever. We want to hear their stories. We want to get people's stories out there. But if you're doing anything in the grappling industry, we want to get exposure.
Sure.
That's what this is about, is building each other up. If you're a competitor out there, we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And get your name out there.
Yeah, let us know if you have something coming up. I've said it before. We try to look into everything we can, but, we can't see all of the competitions coming up. There's always one every weekend. So if you have anything coming up, even if it's not completely local, 2 to 3 hours away, whatever, let us know. We want to try to get there and cover it if we can. So we want to shine the light on you guys. Remember that.
100%, man. And other than that, man, this has been a fun one. I mean, thank you for being on again. You made a good trip out here, and, hopefully everyone checks out Backwoods BJJ Retreat.
I got one more thing to say.
Go for it. Go for it, man. You got the air.
It goes back to Kalani. Know the difference between the homies and the ops. That's all I got to say.
Oh, yeah.
Right. 100%. Dude, that's wise words right there. Other than that, I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
And we
This
are
is
out.
Grapplers Talk.